Hi, in this video I would like to present a Peliqan customer case, which is Skindr. Skindr is an online application where patients can book consultations with doctors. And so their data model is pretty simple. They have patients, they have of course a name, and you have consultations for patients that take place on a certain date. So here's a very simple example where you have different people having different consultations. However, what Skindr wants to do is they want to report on new patients separately and recurring patients also separately. So I'll do a live demo in Peliqan to show you how it is done. So first of all, I will make a new connection to a Postgres database because that's where the data is. So I'm going to fill in all my details, the host, username and password, and I'll add it to my production data group. So immediately Peliqan will scan my database and it will find multiple databases, and the data that we need is in the Skindr database. So here's the first table, patients. As you can see, patients have a name, they have an ID, and then here is the second table, consultations, where you can see that consultations take place on a certain date. That is the second column here, and they are all linked to a patient through the patient ID column number 4. So what I want to do is I want to add a new property to patients. So let's go back to the patients table, and I'm going to add a column. I'll call it visits, and that is actually going to be a join with consultations where I want to count the number of consultations. So I'm going to add a formula, join count, and that will link to the consultations table, and the matching fields are ID in this table and patient ID in the other. So here's the result. We have the number of visits for each patient. Now we want to go to consultations, and here I will add a lookup where I will add the same column, this time from patients. So you can see we actually have a circular reference here, but that doesn't really matter. So we're going to do a join lookup where we will look up data from the patients table, and the matching fields in this case are patient ID in this table and ID in the first table, and the field that I want to see from that first table is visits. Okay, so as you can see, my new column is now being added. So now for each consultation, I actually know how many consultations there were in total for that patient. I'm also going to add a formula month to format the date. That will make it easier for me to aggregate the data. So again, we're using a formula where we're doing a transformation, and the date format will be changed into the year, a dash, and then the month. Okay, that column has been added as well. And now I want to filter out consultations. So I'm going to add views. So my first view will be new patients. And in this view, I only want to see consultations from new patients. So basically where that total visit is equal to 1. Here's the result. So we only see consultations from new patients now. And now I'll do the same with the second view, which I will call recurring patients. And here I will add a filter again. And this time we will I'll make it easy, patient total visits is not 1. And this will give me all the consultations of recurring patients. Now, in order to do an aggregation to see the total by month, I could add a custom query. Now I don't have to. I can also use the aggregation editor, which is easier, but as a demo I will quickly write a custom query here where I'm going to use that newly defined column, month. I'm going to take the sum of all those visits, and I'm going to reference, of course, my consultations table. So here's an example of writing a custom query, and this will give me all the consultations by month, not yet filtered in this example. What I can also do is I can now create an app, a data app, to visualize and share my data with other team members. So what I'll do is I'll create a new app, and here I can use a few lines of Python code. There's already some example. I will just replace the title to consultations. We're going to load data from one of our tables. It's going to be consultations again, so I'll just insert the table name. By the way, we will use those views, so I will take my new patients view, so we will only see the consultations of new patients, and I'm not going to show the data frame, but I'm going to show a bar chart where the X column is month and the Y column is those total visits. And let me actually rename the title here, and then we'll add a second title, and we'll do the same for recurring patients. So in this case, same table, different view, recurring patients, and we'll show the same bar chart. Okay, so now we can do a preview of our app. That's looking great. And finally, we can publish that app to make it available to other team members. That's it for a quick demo. Thank you.